Sketching an idea generation. Introduction. Why do I sketch? Well, firstly, I can sketch when I'm bored, when I'm on the telephone, for example, in a queue at a call center, and I just have a piece of paper in front of me and I start doodling away, sketching on a piece of paper. But my mind really isn't focused on anything in particular. I've called this one investigation, where I'm discussing and visualizing maybe an idea through a sketch to somebody else. Maybe I need to explain something and I can't quite verbalize it, so I'm trying to visualize it using a sketch. I could be sketching to a brief, so something that's been given to me and I need to sketch those ideas that I've got based on an idea of somebody else's or somebody else's suggestion. And the last one here is experimentation, and this is the important one, which is why it's highlighted in red. This is trying new techniques or alternative techniques. And I do these sketches in order to really push myself and my sketching ability, where my sketches can't come to a full stop when I can't think of anything, then trying to do different things and sketch in a different way or use different methods and all techniques sometimes can be a very, very good way of pushing the boundaries a little bit further. Finding ideas. So a lot of the questions that we start with, or the main question rather, is where do I begin? Where do I start? Where do I get my ideas from? Well, this is very difficult to answer, and I'll try my best to do that. It may seem very obvious to you, but you just need to look around. You need to look and listen and actually use all of your senses for your inspiration. The world is out there and it's full of things to use and to base your ideas on. We can only base our ideas on the world around us because we don't live in any other world. We live in this one. So all our ideas must come from this world. We can see things from other worlds, obviously, with when telescopes and probes go down to different planets and we can start to see it. But basically, it's pretty much going to be the same because it's all made of the same stuff as the Earth is made of. It may be arranged slightly differences due to different circumstances, but it's going to be more or less the same as the Earth. So particularly if there's life on it, because life needs the same components in order to exist. So look around, look at what's around as the basis. And then, this is an important one, have the confidence to look at beyond what you see. Now, you may think, oh God, he's going all Jedi on me here, and it's getting a little bit too zen for me. But confidence is a very, very important factor in starting to draw and starting to get your ideas down on paper, because sometimes you're a little bit afraid of what other people might say about your sketch or your idea. It's very personal, it's something from your mind. So have the confidence to not only put those ideas down on paper, but to look beyond what you're seeing with your eyes at the time you're getting the inspiration. So for example, if you see a rock or something and you think, oh, that looks really good, I might make a monster out of that rock or something like this, then you need to be able to see beyond that rock and see its potential as something else, but also the confidence to put that down on paper, and especially if you've got somebody next to you and you start sketching and they may not understand what you're doing and they get all these jokes and things about oh, what's that kind of thing. Ignore it. Just have the confidence to go ahead and do what's in your mind and get that sketch down, get that idea down onto the paper straight away. So going on from that, it's the interpretation. I gave an example just of a rock. It's very basic, but how interpreting what you're seeing in your mind's eye. And this is something that's very specific to you as the artist, as the person with the idea. I can't tell you what that idea is because you haven't had it yet. But in the future, when you do have these ideas, you will see something different in an object that I see, for example. So that rock, I may see a car in that rock, you may see a monster. And it's what's specific to your mind and how you interpret what you're seeing. And it's not only, as I've said at the top of this list, it's not only about your eyes, it's about the smell, it's about the sounds as well. And all these contributing factors can shape those ideas. So let's look at this in a little bit more detail. And look at this word here. We've got this pareidolia. Now, pareidolia is explained as a psychological phenomenon involving a vague or random stimulus. My example was a rock. Often an image or a sound being perceived as significant. Common examples include images of animals or faces in clouds, the man on the moon, or the moon rabbit as an example. And you can go and search those on Wikipedia, and you'll see examples of those. Now, I found pareidolia an extremely interesting way of coming up with ideas, and let me show you what I mean. Here's my example to you, and have a look at this image. Now, this is an image that I've produced. Now, it wasn't an image that I had any intention of taking this image for this presentation or this DVD, whatever. This was just something that I did as a test to make a balloon fly, and this sort of wispiness behind it was the gas or something which I was trying to make this balloon rise up in the air and push it up in the air. So it was actually just a 3D experiment. But I saved this image because I thought, well, there's something in that image that I think is really cool. And as you look at this image now, have a think about what you can see in that image. Now, it's a little bit of a trick here because you've got this great, you've got this balloon in front of you, and it's kind of, it's tricking your eye in a way to sort of focus on that. But look beyond the balloon, look beyond it, and look in the background and look at the wispiness and see what you see. If you can see a creature or a shape or something in there that you find is interesting. Okay, we'll go to the next slide and see what I saw in this image, and what I've done is I've highlighted it. So you may have seen this image of this kind of dragon. I picked out an eye, I picked out the teeth, I embellished it a little bit with the wispiness over the top to create some kind of ears and horns and the smoke coming out of its nostrils, or fire, or whatever it is. The balloon obviously is completely insignificant. I've seen beyond that and looked at something else in this image. So that was just a very, very loose explanation there of pareidolia, and this is the technique that I'm going to start to use now for the rest of these videos. So there's no wrong or right way of doing something. This is very personal to you, and you've got to have the confidence to go ahead and just put down what's in your mind's eye. Relax your mind. You're always going to work better if you're in a relaxed state. If you're stressed about something, or you're never going to do good work when you're stressed, or you're never going to come up with good ideas. Enjoy yourself. You should be enjoying yourself anyway, because you're an artist, You're a you know you're a creative person, so you should be enjoying this process. If you're not enjoying it, then you're not doing the right thing for you. If you want to go and do something else, then it's not to say you're wrong in doing it, but you must enjoy yourself when you're doing this, because you'll produce much better work when you're enjoying yourself. Enjoy the journey as well that we're going to go on. This is just going to be a way for you to experiment and to find new techniques in sketching and coming up with ideas and sketches. So let's begin.